So starting the test drive in this Kicks SV, the 1.6 liter is okay. It's decent in here. I feel like it's better in the Versa, of course, but it does get the job done for people in this market. You're getting a car under 25 grand. It's not gonna be super quick. It's relatively efficient in terms of fuel economy, but I feel like this is just a bit more usable than the Versa, just in terms of the extra cargo space you get. But other than that, I mean, it's really no big difference. If it was me, I would get the Versa SR, save a little bit of money over this SV, but I like cars better anyway. I don't need the additional cargo space. I don't need to have a vehicle that sits higher. But there is a market again for people looking at something like this who want that additional space but don't necessarily want to pay for an SUV like this. Now, Nissan's 1.6 liters, I should say the Versa has a track record of being pretty reliable, especially with the 4-speed automatic that was offered before they went strictly CVT. And once they went strictly CVT, I saw quite a few that lasted 200,000, 220,000 miles. They just had their vehicle maintained at the dealer, so keeping the CVT fluid changed, oil changes, and things of that nature. Now, when these transmissions do give out, I feel like they're relatively expensive. Like any transmission, if you have to replace a transmission, it's not going to be cheap for a vehicle. So you never want a transmission to need major repairs regardless. And I think the reason that the CVTs and Nissans are known as they are is because when those do go out, people who are looking for a vehicle like that, they got that car because it was one of the cheapest ones. It had the best fuel economy. They were trying to save money. And you can imagine if they get a $3,000 or $4,000 repair bill from the service department, they're not going to be happy campers. But again, I feel like if you do keep up with your vehicle like you should, just from the scheduled maintenance from the dealer, and then also just make sure that you get a vehicle that gets a warranty of some sort, and then get an extended warranty after that if you plan on keeping it that long. It's just safer to do that, or know a mechanic. But other than that, I mean, these last a minute. They don't really, at least I haven't heard of any catastrophic failures coming about in these vehicles. But overall, this does drive like a Versa, which is kind of funny to me. Like the steering dynamic, even the steering wheel, the way the radio set up and all that, I feel like I'm in a Versa right now. So if you do like the Versa and you just want something with a little bit more space that sits up a little higher, then you won't be disappointed here. But overall, ride quality is about in the Versa. Decent. It's not necessarily super smooth, but not overly choppy. It just feels like a normal commuter vehicle. I'm gonna turn at the stop sign and then put it in sport mode to get ready to give it a little pull getting on the interstate there. So we'll put the blinker on and we'll go ahead and hop on here. See what it can do in sport mode. Not gonna floor it, but gonna give it something. So got up to speed relatively easily. I do like that we have the blind spot monitor that's integrated into the side mirror here, as opposed to one that's in the actual glass. But we'll put on the adaptive cruise here and we'll see how it does, and we'll just stay in this right lane for the rest of the drive here. So as the vehicles in front of me start slowing down, I'm keeping that safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. I should say the vehicle is. I'm not touching the throttle or the brake. And then it does get up to speed here, again on its own, just to get up to that 72 mile per hour speed. But all in all, I think the ride quality is pretty good to be on the interstate here, especially for a commuter vehicle. And again, for the price point, not too bad for what this is. And I definitely think there is a market out here for someone who's looking for an inexpensive car that's relatively usable every day and still gives you pretty good gas mileage when you need it on the highway. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Nissan Kicks in the SV trim level.